Well, we've got some more breaking news from West Ham, actually, because we can tell you now that West Ham have agreed a deal in principle with Manchester United to sign Harry Maguire. It's going to be worth £30 million. We're told, remember, earlier in the hour, we said that this was close, an agreement was close. Now there's an agreement in principle, £30 million. Personal terms, we're told, will not be a problem. There is still some work to do on the details of his exit from Manchester United, but West Ham now cautiously optimistic of completing the signing. I know that, Zach, earlier you were looking at Harry Maguire and you believe that he needs a new start regardless.
Yeah, I think especially with the Euros as well next year too, if you want to be in that England squad, you've got to be playing this season. Last year he barely even got 800 minutes in the Premier League, and his minutes for Manchester United have been going down. And so, yeah, I think him getting a move, getting minutes, being able to kind of regain some form as well is crucial for the rest of his career.
Massive news from West Ham, isn't there? And also just to mention about James Ward-Prowse as well. We thought that they'd given up on James Ward-Prowse. Not the case, actually, because West Ham are growing increasingly confident that they can sign him. That a bid worth £30 million rejected. However, they feel that a breakthrough has been made. So James Ward-Prowse also could be coming into Manchester United alongside Harry Maguire. Just days before the start of the Premier League season, Wolves are looking for a new manager. Julian Lopetegui has left the club after being frustrated with their transfer business. We understand that Gary O'Neill is the #1 choice to fill that role. Dan, just remind us how we've got to this.
Yeah, I think the Wolves fans will be asking themselves the same question. Obviously, Lopetegui came in last year and kept them up, did well to keep their heads above water. Lopetegui had been a long-term target of the Wolves hierarchy. He was their preferred choice in 2016, and eventually last season they managed to get him in. But it's felt like this walkout or resignation was inevitable all summer. Wolves haven't been as active in the transfer market in terms of incomings as Lopetegui would like. Obviously, a fair few outgoings, which we'll discuss later. And it's just kind of led to this impasse, really. And as always with these things, it's the fans that are the losers, because Wolves have now lost a very good manager right on the eve of the season and will be scrambling around to replace him.
Well, if it's to do with transfer business, let's have a look at what they've done so far this summer in terms of who they've brought in and who have gone. So in terms of players they've signed, there's £9.5 million there for Traore. The others there, Matt Doherty's come back on a free, and young Tom King as well on a free. In terms of the outs, we've had to go for a selected out because so many players have left. Some have gone for free who were on big wages, like you can see Diego Costa and João Moutinho have gone for a free, but they've got £47 million there for Ruben Neves, 23 for Nathan Collins, Cody's wages as well as some money coming in, and same with Raul Jimenez as well. That's just selected departures, by the way. But, Nabate, what does that tell you, that there's seems to be no money to spend, but they brought all that in and cut the wage bill?
Well, they've got an FFP issue, which we'll definitely discuss, but I think the problem they've got is not only have they lost players, they've lost really key players and not been able to replace them. And I think it's quite telling when they signed Diego Costa, because at that time they were desperate for a striker, they needed goals, and actually the rest of Europe wasn't interested in Diego Costa. He had his best years at Chelsea and actually has been on a really big decline since then. And they went for him as their fix as a striker. And he struggled when he came in. And then they've also signed Matheus Cunha, who is very expensive. I think ultimately they've ended up in a situation where they've lost their best assets, their best players, and tried to replace them with whoever they can scramble to get hold of.